Good morning, everyone. I am not really sure about this whole lighting situation this morning, and if I sound stopped up, I'm not sure if it's just allergies or if I'm catching something. So we will see, but yeah, I figured I would come on since I can't seem to focus on writing. I wrote almost 5,000 words yesterday, and today I have a dentist appointment, so I'm really not cool about dentists, so I'm like freaking out and I just can't focus on writing. So I figured I would walk y'all through what I've done with my planner, because I know I hadn't really done a lot when I did my video about back planning, but this is fully back planned now, and yes, it is. I don't know if I can get this on the camera, but it is very stuffed. Now, part of this is I kind of packed my pocket in the back, and and I have quite a lot of, I'm trying to make sure that I don't have any personal information back here. I have a bill I need to take out. Okay, and I have quite a lot of these things, Post-its. So we'll just start at the front. This isn't supposed to be here. Okay. I don't know if I had done, let me make sure I'm in frame good so y'all can see everything. I don't know if I'd done all this when I did my other video. I can't remember. I'm trying to drink my coffee too, y'all. But I have several Post-its over here. Just some of my favorite Post-its that I use a lot. And then I put a vellum here. And I just taped it. I didn't tape it on this side, just on this side. I put a quote right here. I think I might have had this in. And I just wrote my word of the year here. I put a bunch of stickers. This is a magnetic thingy. And I've got my ollie clip. And this from Mom of More Plants, which her shop isn't open right now. But I just have a lot of stuff. And here, I know I had talked about on my previous video that this was for like my January cycle stuff. Well, I deleted that so that like I erased it, whited it out. I don't know how to say that. But anyways, it's just for eating out now, because I went ahead, and I'll show y'all that in a minute, but I back planned what's it called, January. I redated. Okay, I glued these two pages together because I'm pretty sure I said that on the last one. I got 2026 calendars too. All right, this is my books of the year. These are all the books I've read. I might have had this already written in. And I went ahead and did some of my goals. You can see I'm missing a few. I didn't write very much for my writing goals, school for my kids, or socials. I didn't get that far, but I did a bunch of the others. And then this is just a couple more of my latest Post-it acquisitions. I took this out of my Commit 30 and put it in here. And this, I just taped it down like on the side. I took this out of my Commit 30. Okay, I'm gonna flip over to January now. Okay, let me make sure I'm in frame. I hope this isn't jumping too much. Sorry, y'all. Anyways, these are just drawings that my daughter made way back early in the year. I haven't done anything with this yet. I need to. But I went through and I wrote down my husband's projects for the year. Like, he bred cows for people. Like, he does artificial insemination. That was what he did at the dairy before we don't work at the dairy anymore. But he did that for years. Now he works for the state. But we still do custom breeding, and like he'll work on small engine stuff. So I just keep track of that. And this is also like, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this, because I just don't feel like this is a good use of this space. So we'll see come June what I decide to do. But for my back planning and for May, this is how I'm using these pages. So my reading and writing stats, I try to keep track of how much time I spend writing. I didn't do that like most of the year, but I'm trying to. And then how many words I wrote for the month. And then at the beginning of the month, I just write down my numbers on social media. This was a picture that my middle child drew. And this was my eldest. He drew me a little dress-up doll of himself. For May, I'm using this page for important events, so you can like index it. But I haven't done anything for the previous months. The monthly calendar is for my personal tracking, which I'm pretty sure I had on that other video. I just track my steps and sleep, and for May I'm tracking energy levels, medicines I take, all that kind of stuff. But back planning was kind of messy. I didn't keep good track of my planner. I was in a Sterling ink in one. If you go back, I'm sure I have videos of it. But I just tracked what I could. For January, I put in the weather stickers, but for the rest of the year, I didn't do that. But yeah, I just went through and I was like trying out different things. I knew I wanted my husband's work schedule at the top. But I just didn't know exactly how I was going to keep this. For January, I went through and just stickered up the tracker. I didn't do that for the next month. I just wrote down the important stuff, what I had written in my Commit 30. Didn't do anything with this mini page. Oh, and I put this in. I love this from my Commit 30, so I was able to just take it out and I put it in here. And I put this Bible page from a little New Testament I have on top of this. And then I'll do the notes pages different. I don't know if I'll do the notes pages in a different video altogether. Sorry, y'all, my sinuses are not happy. Okay, but I'm just flipping through the months right now. This is February. Again, I didn't do anything with this. I need to go back and like print pictures or something. This was the mess up where y'all saw me realize I could have redated January. Yeah, I wrote at the top, I set all this up before I realized I could use January 26th and redate it for 2025. So I just left it here. Then this is my personal tracking for February. And then February started on a Saturday and Sunday. And then I just put a few stickers. I didn't really go overboard, and February again wasn't a big planning month for me. But I went through my Commit 30 and I started taking out a few of I think I took out all of the pictures I had, because I want to be able to look at them through the year. And yeah, I didn't take out I took out some tip-ins and stickers. But you can see when I started taking Lexapro for my depression, and I got my Commit 30, and we started moving. We decided to swap houses with my in-laws. I started writing in my planner more. So that was mostly March. See, I didn't do anything with the weekly the meal planning stuff. Okay, what's up? All right, that's not right. That's not supposed to be like that, is it? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. I just put this here. Let me pause this. It was my and my husband's 11th wedding anniversary. So I went ahead and I wrote a page out for that, and I took it out of my Commit 30. I'm getting a planner video, okay? Let Mama do that.
Are you gonna post it?
I am gonna post it. So you go watch TV, okay? Okay, and then this was my March page, and I put this in from my Commit 30. Just some Instax pictures of my kids. This was a note from my daughter. This was a letter I found from one of the elves to my kids. This was a list of everything I cleaned when we moved in. I'm still working on that. And again, this is I don't think I'm going to keep doing it this way. I don't think it's a good use of these pages, but this was a project in my eldest school. And then this is my monthly pages from March, which you can see I kept up a lot better because I was actually tracking it in my planner, in my Commit 30. So I took a bunch of tip-ins and pictures from my Commit 30 and moved them over into this planner just because I wanted to see how it fit if I stuff it. It really needs a bigger coal, but you know what? It's fine. I can live with this. So I just stuck all of this in. This is March. I probably won't be doing as many of my kids' art projects in here unless I maybe put them in the notes section. But they do art projects almost every time they're at Children's Church, so it's a lot. This was me brain dumping, well, not really brain dumping, word vomiting about my sister's wedding. So I took that out of a journal I had because I don't want to have, I mean, I'm still going to keep the journal, of course, because I have other writing, but this was like applicable to this whole mood. And so I ripped the pages out of the journal. I stuck them in here. This is April. I got my Kindle, so I went ahead and took this out of my Commit 30 because I really wanted it in here. I need to finish like doing pictures and stuff on these pages. So I still have some back planning to do, but I went ahead and put these in because that's the kind of tomatoes that we planted. This is my personal pages. And then from my sister's wedding week. And then the week after that. And you can see I was starting to get, I don't know, did I do that in March? Yes. Y'all can see I was starting to decide where I wanted to put school, work, if I watched the baby, that kind of thing. So I finally kind of got a method to it. All right, I love this spread. This is like one of my favorite spreads from back planning. It was the week I got my Kindle. I also ordered this planner this week, that's Sunday. And I don't know, I just enjoyed back planning this. So what I've decided to do, let me get over to May and then I'll tell y'all. But anyways, this is this was my last week in my Commit 30. I ended up actually adding a lot of stuff in here because I'm talking about like writing, because I didn't write that much in my planner that week. But it was still fresh enough in my mind I could remember. All right, and then this was the first week I got my planner, my Plum Paper. Because I was back planning and stuff, I didn't really like write that much, but I did write the main big things that happened. And again, didn't write anything with, well, I did like one day in the menus. And then this is May. I was trying to do a tracker. I am not good with trackers. I don't know why I thought I needed a tracker. I will probably cover this entire thing over and do something different with it. But I put my card from getting my Plum Paper Planner in here. This is where I am tracking like an index. And then this is my personal planning. I started using my Unistyle Fit. I think they're called Meister or something like that. Pens, again, they're waterproof for the most part. They are, multi-pens. You get to pick your colors. They have tons of different colors. I love them. And I'm able to fit a lot more information into my pages using those versus this. Most of this was back plan using the Uniball P pen, the Uniball 1P, the little mini Uniball one. And then I swapped over on Saturday. I got the Sharpie, these pens, but they're 0.4, but they still write even bigger than the Uniball. And on this paper, it's weird too, because this is the same pen as is on here. It's just weird how different pens act different on different paper. Okay, so here we are in the current week. I have some notes on paper, but what I've decided to do as far as like the layout of my pages, let me move this, is my word count goes up here. I think that's what I'm going to do. So my word count, maybe I'll put the hours I write, I don't know. And then my husband's work and kind of what he does, which I misunderstood. I just write a note about what he did. He wasn't ditching yesterday. And then if I watch the baby, I write it there, but I'm going to use a different color for that. I'm going to use, I don't know, I changed pens. This was mild liners, but now I've decided I'm going to use my pen and gear. Just change things up. So we'll see. But anyway, major appointments are going to go in this big box at the top. And then school is in this small box, or anything the kids did, stuff like that. This box is, like I said, my husband's work schedule. If I watch the baby, if my mother-in-law watches the baby, big things like my mother-in-law ended up with COVID. My mom texted me, which is not a usual thing. And then I just write notes about the day. Like I cleaned windows. I didn't feel good this day or this day. Felt better yesterday, back to not feeling good today. And then down here is my fun section. So I keep the weather at the very bottom, but in this little box, I write if I post post a YouTube video, if I read, what I read, all that kind of stuff. Like here, I finally listened to Eric Church's new album. He used to be one of my favorite singers, country singers. Anyways, I was trying to track, in tracking, and that's not working out well. This I think is going to be like my gratitude section, and I'm not sure. This is going to be like for notes about the week that aren't really related to anything. I'm going to put my to-do list for the week on a sticky note. So that's what this is. This is just a reminder. This is a note about my story I needed to write down real quick. And then the only thing I don't like about this planner or this layout is this. That Saturday and Sunday get much smaller boxes. And I don't know, I'm sure, yeah, see, it's like so much stuff I have to write on Saturday and Sunday because like my husband's off work and we do things and we have fun and like, we go places and I want to write everything down and how much money we spent and all that kind of stuff. And I just don't have enough room. So I may look at a different layout, but for now I'm making it work. Just writing smaller, that's one reason why I got, started using these pens. Okay. So I went through and I wrote like bills down at the bottom because I think at the very bottom is where I'm going to keep the bills, or either at the bottom of this box. And then appointments are going to go on sticky notes. I'm trying to do this. Like I've actually managed to, I think, do this pretty well, except for we didn't have burritos for the kids. We ended up eating something else. I'll have to think about that. But anyways, yeah, I've done this, like, as far as, like, the meals I've cooked. And I'm going to make cabbage roll casserole today. So, yeah, everything is, like, pretty well. I wrote meal ideas here. That's not going to work for my groceries. Okay, I'm going to skip over to the notes section and show you what I did with it. And then I'll probably turn this off for now. I put a note here about how many pages, because I was trying to figure out how to put daily pages in here. So I will show you that in a little bit. Hey babe. But I was figuring for like 2026 and, just doing some figuring. So I left that there. I left this spread blank because I think I'm going to do like a 12-month picture overview of what we did for the year. I don't know about this, maybe my thoughts at the end of the year. Then I have a health section. I don't know if I'm going to do this again for 2026, but I'm going to keep it up for 2025 because I started it back in March and I'm just going to keep doing it. It's mainly my kids making notes of whenever they say like their head hurts, but the problem is, hey, my kids are starting to act up, so I need to finish this video. I also write that kind of information down here. especially now that I have this section and with summer break and everything. Like, I don't plan their school in here or really track it. It's just for me to know that I need to do this today or what we need to focus on. So, you know, I'll write, like, all 3 of them finished their handwriting books, and the boys also did language arts. Or I'll write, you know, or I won't write anything if we just did, like yesterday we did language arts. We didn't do handwriting because they were finished with it. But I don't really need to make a note about that. So I have all the space right here that I can use for my kids. So I write their health notes there too. So I don't need to necessarily repeat that information in the back, but I'm already doing it. I think I'm going to keep it up for the year. This, hey, Mama's trying to finish this video, okay? This is where I've decided I'm going to try to do my daily pages. So I have personal journaling here. My church sermon notes are going to go on just a little notebook that I have, and I'll rip it out and tape it in here. This is like brainstorming about my story, and then I have a little bit of space here I can fill in. This is my Monday, how it turned out, and you can see how much information I was able to fit because of the little pens. And then that's Sunday. Tuesday, I wrote a to-do list. Wednesday, what was yesterday? I wrote a ton, so I need to back plan Wednesday, and then today is Thursday. But I broke it into 3 days per page, and then I also had a very nice, I don't know what GSM paper this is, but it's very thick and like smooth. It was a journal I bought at Hobby Lobby. So I started ripping pages out of that so that I could just have a little extra space to like deep dive into things. And I decided to try that just for May. So I did it, I like divided up how many pages I had left for the 8 months I'm going to be in this planner. And then for May, I added in the pages. If I don't use them, if I don't like it, then I just won't do it again. So we'll see. Then I put my bank books in the back. Oh, that was just credit scores. It's fine. Which I haven't updated. But it's just like a running bank log, like a checkbook. And I think that's it. Oh, I did a pen test back here. So I tested a few different pens. This is my Unistyle Fit pens, the Uniball 1 and the Sharpie, and then these are the Zebra mild liners, and then the Pen and Gear dual and creative markers. I'm going to use the contacts pages for that, for pen tests. And then this is going to be passwords. I do keep my passwords in my planner. I know people say that's not smart. But this was, but I don't really go anywhere. This was a picture that my son drew. So I stuck it in here. And then this was the 2027, I think, they put back here for me. I went ahead and just put sticky notes over it. Then I have like way too many stickers and stuff in here, in this little envelope pocket, and a couple bills that I need to pay, and then more sticky notes back here. And I put my Commit 30, I had a third pen loop, so I put it on there. And my 2 pens, I really need 2 of these. Wait just a minute, I'm almost done. But this works pretty well like that. So anyways, that is how I'm using my planner. That's how I back planned it. And yeah, so I guess that's it for now. I do plan to do like plan with me's and all that stuff, you know. But anyways, if you made it this far, thank you very much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.